You're listening to episode 54 of Lifestyle Locker Radio with PGA golfer Ben Silverman.
And I don't think it's talked about enough in sports how many athletes in not just golf get chiropractic care on a regular basis. It needs to be talked about more because as far as I know, everybody's doing it nowadays. And the way I'm contorting my body, practicing and playing every day, and in high stress level situations mentally, I mean, you could explain it better than me, but my nervous system is not always functioning optimally because I throw it out of alignment myself.
Hi, I'm Dr. Josh Handt, and welcome to the Lifestyle Locker Radio, where we dive into what makes an awesome lifestyle. From relationships to money mindset, nutrition to fitness, emotional health to peak performance, we bring you on an amazing journey to unleashing your human potential. All right, so here's a little bit about Ben Silverman, but before I do that, I want to let you know this podcast is actually taken from a Facebook Live we did with Ben over the Thanksgiving weekend, and now it's just put into the audio version. So here's a little bit about Ben. He started playing golf during his freshman year of high school, and after one summer at the Mandarin Golf and Country Club in Markham, Ontario, he decided to pursue his dream of becoming a professional golfer. Since 2010, Ben has been steadily building his competitive resume. He has competed on several different professional tours, and now being a rookie at the PGA Tour. He completed his rookie season on the Web.com Tour in 2016, competing in 16 events and finishing 131st on the regular season money list. 2017. This has been great thus far and will go down as Ben's breakout year, winning the 2017 Price Cutter Charity Championship presented by Dr. Pepper and finishing top 10 on the Web.com money list, granting him full status for the 2017-2018 PGA Tour. So here's Ben Silverman. We're going to start. Is that cool? You ready?
Let's go.
All right. So we have Ben Silverman here, and I'm going to share a screen for a second so you can, if you don't know who he is, this is Ben Silverman. He is an awesome guy.
Did you hit record?
All right, we got record. We're good to go.
Okay.
We're good to go. All right. So we have Ben Silverman here. He is a PGA Tour rookie. He is from, so I'm going to read this to you because he is from Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. So we got a Canadian in the family. Whoop, whoop, right? Went to Johnson & Wales University at FAU, 2010 graduate with a psychology degree. So Don't be messing with my head while we're doing this talk, all right? Please. He's got, this is pretty neat. So I'm not a golfer, but I get to see all these really cool stats, and that's why I'm sharing them with you. He's ranked 49th in the FedEx Cup, right? Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Says 144 FedEx points, and you said something to me before, which I don't, because I don't know golf. What is it for you? Because we want you in a FedEx Cup. What does that mean?
Yeah, the FedEx Cup is the playoffs at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So golf actually has a regular season and playoffs for people who don't know. And at the end of the 2018 regular season, you need to be ranked top 125 to make the playoffs and keep your membership for the tour for the following year.
Okay.
So we're in good shape at the moment.
Yeah, you're actually doing pretty awesome here. And, it says scoring average 70. That's pretty insane.
I'd like to see a 6 and a 9 there, but we'll work on it.
Yeah, I think, so 70.1, or 19, I think you're going to get there at the rate you're going. And what else? So he's had actually, this is rookie year, he's only a few tournaments in, or how many? Five tournaments in. He's finished top 10 in 2, which is pretty freaking awesome. I mean, that just shows the type of athlete and person Ben is. So if you haven't seen him, this is directly from the PGA Tour website here. But we also have, just so you can see, I want to make sure you guys are getting onto, this is Ben Silverman Golf on Facebook, which I have up here on the top. You'll see it says Ben Silverman Golf at Facebook. When I change the screen, it'll be easier to see. And follow him on Instagram and Twitter at Ben W. Silverman _Silverman. This is going to grow. This guy's getting busy, so get in while you can. All right. So what's going on, William, Jay, Brittany? Oh my God, all these people are on following us.
Brittany,
here.
my cousin.
Yeah.
Philly.
And Lucas, what's going on? So right now, Ben, so let's get into this here. You're an athlete. golf wasn't your first sport. You weren't actually born with like, people say they have like a silver spoon in their mouth. You weren't born with like a silver putter in your hands, 1 year old, like, Ben, you're going to be a golfer.
Right.
Kind of bring us through like the evolution of you're a PGA Tour golfer. This is not something small. This is not something that you're a golfer that says, I want to play golf and I want to be in the PGA. So something had to happen in your life.
Well, so I was like you were on skis when you were, what, 2?
4, but Morgan was
4?
2.
Yeah, Morgan was 2. All right. So I was on skates when I was 3, which I feel like most people from Thornhill, Ontario are, or Canada in general. And I thought I was going to be a professional hockey player. That was my passion growing up. My middle brother, Daniel, was the same way. And I reached a point when I was like 13 or 14 where I just wasn't growing. The game was getting physical and I was getting scared of injuries. So I started to look for other sports, and I played many others. I mean, I referred to myself as an athlete growing up, but golf was something I just found almost by accident, I guess you could say, and it captured my attention. It wasn't anything I ever played growing up. I, like you said, you suck at golf, but you go to the driving range every once in a while and try to smash a driver and stuff, right? So that was me.
Okay.
When I was 12, 11, 13, whatever, in those years. And then my mom signed me up for a junior golf camp one summer when we were in Vancouver, British Columbia, just because she thought I might be interested. And from then on is when it kind of caught my attention, because it was like no other sport. It was super intricate, really challenging, so many aspects to it. It wasn't just dribbling a basketball and shooting, or, bump set and volley and volleyball. Like, there was so much more to it. So it captured my attention and I got involved.
Yeah. I mean, being not a golfer myself, but watching you actually on TV, from the web.com tour, now the PGA, it's really interesting. And, just walking and talking with you and realizing, there's so many little aspects, like just getting on the putting green. You're like, no, what it looks like on TV is not what it's like there. I mean, from the wind to like the way the grass blades are shaped or like leaning is all different, right?
We were having a conversation about that. Yeah, it's hard to see that on TV. I can have a putt that breaks 6 feet from right to left, and on TV, the announcers say, yeah, this has a little bit of break and it looks pretty straight on TV, and in person, I'm like, it's not straight at all. It's pretty difficult.
Yeah, that's so cool. And challenging. So we go from hockey player, which, when people think, from the U.S., people think Canadian, like, oh yeah, these guys are all hockey players, and but you were able to translate this, and going from 12, 13, 14 years old to a golf camp. And fast forward how many years now to the PGA Tour? That's like, that's not a normal transition for people, is it? Isn't it usually like, you're 3 years old with a golf club in your hand, and your parents are kind of like, you're at the course?
Or like, I've met some guys like 6 and 7 years old. So basically when they were at that point at 6 or 7, I was 13 and a half.
Okay.
Where like I was just learning about everything. So I got a way later start and had to work a lot harder.
Yeah. This is so I want to kind of get into some of your training, some of your mental training, some of your physical training, and some of what you do, that a lot of athletes sometimes do, but you're a proponent of something really interesting that I'm involved with on a regular basis. But let's start early. So you get into golf, you're already athletic because you've played hockey, which means you've been running around on ice and becoming very fit. Golf is a different game. When I think golf myself, growing up, I always saw on TV like the heavy guys swinging a golf club, walking just with a cigar in their mouth.
Right.
That's obviously not what's going on today. You turn on the TV, there's a lot of fit people. And is that a added benefit, or is that just something you enjoy?
I enjoy it. I think it makes golf more of a sport. And I'm pretty sure Tiger Woods was the one that had to do with that, because he was the first person to start turning his body into an athlete's body while he was playing golf, and all the juniors followed suit. So now everybody I play with is going to the gym or has some sort of fitness routine. and I do as much as I can. It's difficult now with a 4-month-old on the road with us, but I mean, I've gotten into it and tried to stay in shape the best I can. And, the mental side of the game has become much more talked about than it ever used to. People are going to mental coaches and doing things like meditation and pre-round, rehearsals in their mind that maybe wasn't thought of as something very popular back in the day. So, yeah, there's a lot more going on.
When you say rehearsal, it's visualization, right? Like you're kind of seeing the course and your putts or your hits, your shots, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, one thing that some people may not know about is on the PGA Tour, players get told where the holes are going to be located the night before the round. So if it's Wednesday night, I know Thursday morning exactly where the pins are, and I can go through my course yardage book, look up the wind and the hourly for the next day, and basically play the course exactly how it's going to play in my head, using the wind each hour, knowing the hole locations, what club I can probably hit off each hole, what club I'm probably going to have into the green. So that type of specific mental rehearsal can be hugely beneficial.
Okay, so this is crazy, just talking about this, but I love listening to how people I don't want to say the word hack is the wrong word, but where you get to go from good to great. Right. It's like that boiling, like 211 to 212. That there's a little degree which makes you go from good to great. So when did that mental game become really big for you? Was it on the web.com tour? Was it before? Is it now?
I mean, now it's bigger than ever. I feel like it has more to do with my success than the physical aspect at the moment. But when I was first getting into the mental aspect heavy was probably in 2013, 14. And I searched out this mental coach in South Florida who was mainly like a football mental coach. And he'd worked with teams and worked with some individual athletes in the NHL and other sports, but never golf. And what was interesting was I paid up front for 2 years with this guy. Mm-hmm. And we started talking about some really good stuff that was in books I had read, like Zen Golf for the golf fans who know that, or Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. And so we were talking about a lot of things from there. And then I met your sister, my wife now, Morgan. And as we got more and more into the golf and she got more and more interested and started to learn more about it, and I would discuss everything with her, she started helping me with mental things that this guy was already telling me about, but she was taking them a step further. It was just she could relate more to me and things that she had learned growing up from your family's background in the chiropractic world. And so I think even though I paid 2 years up front with this guy, I stopped working with him after a year because Morgan was helping me so much more that I just started, talking about everything with Morgan.
Yeah, that's so neat. I mean, I'm athletic. I'm not a professional athlete, but, when I ran my marathon this past year, initially it was a body game, right? I need to make sure I train, but actually being on the running course, I think the mental aspect for any athlete has probably got to be the biggest part of the game, because if your head's not in it.
Well, especially a marathon. I mean, I've never run a marathon, but you can be 2 hours into that, and the only thing that's going to push you further is probably you telling yourself, let's go, right? Because your body's probably dying.
Totally, but it's that same. I mean, it's not the same, but you're having to use your brain, your mental capacity to help. It was on a golf course. When I get to watch you on TV, there are probably millions, I'm guessing, people that are watching you, and let alone how many thousands of people are on these courses standing around you. It's a show that you're kind of stuck in. If your head's you're not very present at your moment, I can imagine that could be so detrimental.
Yeah, and I got a taste of that earlier this year on the web.com tour when I was in contention for the first time and the camera crew started showing up. There's a lot of distractions. And as a fan, you love seeing all the new things available now, like you can go on your phone and watch something live or stream it, or like you get all the best HD coverage on TV. And so I would watch that with the PGA Tour as a fan. And when I got into the thick of things, I had to learn how to almost not care, like pretend it's not a big deal and I'm out there just playing golf by myself and that other stuff doesn't matter, which is tough to do. It took me a couple tournaments to learn how to do it and to kind of shut it off. I almost have to like pretend like I don't care who's watching. I don't care if it's on TV. I need to do what I normally would do if I'm playing golf by myself at home or practicing, and
be in the moment.
Yeah, which is not easy to do sometimes when you have people watching and yelling stuff from the gallery. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. So there's another thing that I think is really neat that you've been doing, I think maybe even since birth. I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, pretty close, I think.
Pretty close. So,
yeah,
you've been getting chiropractic adjustments, been getting chiropractic care since birth. You're like, you may not be totally the odd duck out in sports, but I think you're someone that utilizes it for not just how do I feel.
Yeah, for wellness, healthcare. Yeah. And I don't think it's talked about enough in sports how many athletes in not just golf get chiropractic care on a regular basis. It needs to be talked about more because as far as I know, everybody's doing it nowadays. And the way I'm contorting my body, practicing and playing every day and in high stress level situations mentally, I mean, you could explain it better than me, but my nervous system is not always functioning optimally because I throw it out of alignment myself. So I need the chiropractic care to help realign me, turn my inner power back on. And I do it almost on a daily basis. Morgan adjusts me when we're on the road together. And it's a regular part of my lifestyle and on and off the course. And I mean, there's chiropractors at every tournament working with players inside the locker rooms, but
you have a VIP one.
Yeah, I do. But people don't talk about it enough. I mean, it is huge. Most people think of it as like a remedy if you're sick or if you're injured. And yeah, it's definitely going to help those symptoms go away. But if you keep up with it, it's also going to keep you healthy so you don't have those symptoms. I mean, I know one thing in particular when I met Morgan and she started taking care of me, I was starting to have lower back pain just on my right side, just from the repetitiveness of a golf swing. And the second she started working with me on a regular basis, I noticed it less and less until now I don't have it at all. It's completely gone. But I still have her adjust me or you or your dad when we're here.
Yeah.
Like, almost every single day.
Yeah.
Just for wellness.
Yeah.
And people need to resort to that more because it helps and it's a lot better for your body than going to medicine. So. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is you're getting adjusted mostly daily, and what the average person is not necessarily going to need that. But what people don't understand when you're on this golf tour, that the PGA Tour, I mean, even the web.com, you were traveling everywhere. You were in a car and a plane and different beds and, then having a new baby in the mix and moving him with you with all this, your body's stresses are definitely higher than a regular. I mean, it looks awesome on TV. You look happy, excited. You're a professional athlete, but people don't get to see behind the scenes,
right?
Where all the hard work, all the grinding, all the lead work happens for you to be who you are. And, from the head game to the physical game, because I know I've worked out with you in the past. I mean, not since you've been traveling as much now, but when you've been up in New York, no slouch. I mean, you're like very regimented in what you do. And I would say to those out there, when it comes to becoming professional, becoming like the ultimate human being for yourself, would you say habit would be like something like good habits in general overall?
You need to develop good habits. Like for yourself, you're a chiropractor, but to keep up with your skill, right? You're eating healthy. You're working out physically to make sure that you can perform for your patients at the highest level for yourself, right? So it's the same thing with me. I have to make sure I'm getting enough sleep, make sure I'm putting good food in my body, exercising as much as I can, and then, having my mind as mentally sharp as I can. And sometimes I do meditation when I can with Morgan. And also your dad has helped me with this because he's done
NLP,
neuro-linguistic programming. He can put people in trances, right? Or not trances.
Yeah, kind of, yes.
Like,
it's like hypnotic therapy.
Like hypnotic therapy in a way, yeah. So I've done it with your dad, and it's helped. He's helped ingrain some good things in my subconscious, and all that kind of stuff works. I mean, people probably don't give it enough importance in their lifestyle if they just have like a 9-to-5 job, or they're in an office and they're like, I don't need to do what a professional athlete does. But I think if they develop some of those habits, it'll help make their life better no matter what they're doing.
Yeah, it's speaking with lots of people through my podcast. It's the funny thing is people try to outdo like 10 hours of sitting a day with like 25 minutes on a treadmill of walking.
Yeah,
it never fixes them, and I can imagine if we had you, like, all right, Ben, we're going to help you train for the PGA. But what I need you to do is just kind of walk around the golf course, just look at the holes, visualize. But we're going to pick up your driver, your putter, your irons. You're going to pick them up like once a week, for like an hour. And you'll do good. You'll be fine. I mean, it's crazy what we think is humans, what will help us become a better performer, like a professional athlete like yourself. But we're willing to kind of get it all done in 1 hour of our day, off of our desk, or off of the couch. It's weird. It's scary.
Well, it needs to be more regular. That's all. Like, I think people would be more beneficial trying to implement, say, just for exercise, like a smaller amount every single day, 15, 20 minutes every single day, rather than a half an hour, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Right? Because then on those off days, what are you doing? You're probably falling back into bad habits, or thinking that your 30 days the next day is going to make up for whatever you do poorly.
Exactly.
Like, you're better off just getting into a good habit of doing little things every single day that are good, right?
Well, good. So I want to ask, we have when we posted that you're going to be on this Facebook Live, one of my friends, a fellow chiropractor, I call like a 5-star chiropractor. His name is Dan Sullivan. He's down in Georgia, loves golf, loves sports. And when he was so excited, he's sending me messages on Facebook. My God, you see how good Ben is doing? All this stuff. But when he posted that you're going to be on, he goes, can we ask questions? Can I ask a question? So I wrote down a few of the questions. I took them off the post. And, this is for the golfers out there. So if you're a golfer, pay attention, please, because you're going to get some gold here.
What do you got?
So it sounds simple to me.
Dr.
Right?
Dan.
Dr. Dan Sullivan. All right. So he wants the top 3 tips that you would give an amateur golfer. Like, what 3 things can they do? He didn't say on the course, off the course, so you take it wherever you want. It's your call.
Top 3. I would say, okay, we're strictly golf terms. Hit more club, Dan. I just see you posted. Hit more club. Amateurs never take enough club for any shot. I see it so many times when I play in pro-ams, or if I'm just playing at, like, my home course. Guys will always come up short hitting into the green because they think they hit it further than they really do. Professionals know exactly how far they hit it. And sometimes we're wrong. We're 5-10 yards off. But most of the time amateurs are like 20 yards off. So hit more club, Dan. That's number 1. Second, if you're bad at golf, like, you're shooting, let me rephrase that. If you're shooting like 90 or 100, which is pretty good for the majority of golfers, I think, worldwide, and you're golfing like once a week and not practicing, you have no right to get upset when you hit a bad shot. So don't get upset when you hit a bad shot. You just look foolish. That's number 2, because I see that way too much. And then number 3, just try to be athletic in a way. I mean, golf is not seen as an athletic sport, but if you have experience in other sports that are more reactive in hand-eye coordination, try to do that the best you can in golf, whatever that means to you, but try to just be more athletic when you're on the golf course rather than, a golfer.
Yeah. So we got those 3. Then he asks, how do you mentally prepare as a professional golfer for each shot?
Well, over the years, I've developed a routine of the way I grip my club, how I line up the ball to my target and step into the shot. I mean, I don't think about it consciously now, but if somebody were to record how many steps I take to get into my setup and how many times I shuffle my feet and how many times I look up at the target, it's probably very similar every time. And I had to consciously practice that at first, but now it's ingrained in me, and that's the way that I mentally prepare, because it's something I do every single time that makes me feel comfortable, like I'm ready to hit the shot.
All right. And I see something, and because I've watched more golf in the past, I don't know how many months now, than I've had my whole life. It's all your fault. But I think it's so now I watch, seeing all these other golfers. I mean, not that I don't care about them. You're family now, so this is a little more important. But I get to watch you on, like when you're on the green and you kind of just squat down. You kind of you look like you put radar on. You looks like you block the world out and you kind of like zone in.
Yeah.
Is that like one of those habits?
That's one of the things I do, that when I'm putting, it helps me stay focused on where I want to hit the putt, and it helps me visualize seeing the break. When I put the blinders on and get down in my squat and look like this,
yeah,
I can, block out another golfer standing over there who's trying to read his putt, and I can start focusing in detail on just my ball to the hole, what I have to do.
That's that present moment thing, present time consciousness.
Right. And so I just do it almost every time now, even if I don't need to, because it's part of one of those comfortable things that gets me ready to hit.
So now when I do like an analysis, when I have a patient, I squat down the end of the table and duck under, and we kind of. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm sure you have something. Do you have something?
I mean, it's
before you go adjust somebody in the room.
We go and we make sure we're there. We're going to be there with the patient. But yeah, I know when I walk in the room and close the door, I'm always put my hand on their leg, let them know I'm there. I mean, and then it's just the initial lets me know it's like game time, showtime. We got to really, my focus has to be 100% when I'm there. But I bet if you put a camera on the top of every room when I walk in, it wouldn't be the same, but it would be very similar patterning.
Gotcha.
With people, not as fancy as a sport, but definitely habitually trained, which took me time.
Well, you don't have to say not as fancy as a sport. We don't have to compare it. It's just that's your daily life routine, or you're an expert in your field of chiropractic. So for you to perform at the top, there's routines that you do and things that probably help focus.
Totally. I mean, my daily routine is I try to treat myself like a professional, whether it's an athlete or just a professional. From meditating, I've been the past couple months been trying to focus on getting up at 4 a.m. a few days a week to meditate for an hour to really kind of just have quiet time, and then training. I mean, I do similar things, but I don't have sport specific training the way you do. But yeah, I think the habit thing is so cool. But there's one other question. Dr. Dan Sullivan.
Man, Dan.
He had three. He put them in there, and he may throw something up here again. Who knows? And if anybody else has any questions, please throw them up there. If I see them before they kind of cruise through, we'll answer them. He says, Dan's like, how often do you use new clubs?
Oh, probably 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay.
Because golf now has become such a modern sport where technology is prevalent. How do I put this? It's you could have a new shaft that comes out, or a new iron head or wedge head, anything like that, that helps you gain, 1 yard more, or helps you consistently hit it with less, what's a better technical word for spray? There's like, I don't know.
Is that a golf term or no?
Yeah.
If it's a golf term,
It's like, say you have a club that helps you hit it within a range that's 1 yard less right and left in like a 30-yard span. That could help for like a half a shot around maybe, or even a quarter of a shot around, but it can help you improve one shot over the course of an entire tournament. You need that advantage. So guys are constantly testing new equipment all throughout the year and looking for that extra little advantage. And so I've switched some of my clubs 2 to 3 times throughout the year this year just to find something that much better.
Okay. So that's at a professional level, and you're playing, just give us an idea, how many weekends a year are you playing?
Like probably in the low 30 weeks a year.
Okay. Is that all competition 30 weeks?
Yeah.
So, but you're playing more than that usually?
Yeah, because it's practicing on my own or time.
So I just want to put this into perspective for people that are, like Dan is asking, he loves this stuff, but Dan is asking, how many times do you use new clubs? Dan is not playing, right?
Yeah,
right?
for an
Unless
amateur,
you are, Dan, I don't know, you may be, but playing, 30 or 40 or 50 weeks overall a year, you might want to maybe change your clubs every once in a while if you're getting better. Right.
Yeah, so to put that in perspective for an amateur, for Dan, it would be like, check out the technology every couple of years. Yeah. Because as an amateur, you're probably not going to wear out your clubs as quickly as I am. You might get, if you're playing regularly, 2 to 3 years out of your iron set before they're starting to wear out, and then maybe there's new technology that might help you out better. So, don't feel like you need to go run out and get new clubs twice a year.
Yeah.
But I would definitely, if you're a regular golfer, look into it every year or two. Because, there's new advances that could make a difference.
All right. Very cool.
We've been on for like 34 minutes. So do you want to get into anything else that you wanted to cover today?
Well, I don't know. Sarah Silverman, where's my jacket?
It's coming. Everybody loves this jacket. This is my favorite jacket from Oakley. So, send me more if you're watching. I need more.
So cool. So cool. No, I think this is good. We kind of had some fun in the beginning, but I think just, if you want to we'll end here and end with just maybe a couple of comments on your end. When I started my podcast and I started this company called Lifestyle Locker, it was always about unleashing human potential. And you're kind of like the perfect example of someone that is not the neuro researcher, or the other scientist or medical doctor or chiropractor that I'm interviewing. You're kind of the one that is living the ultimate human potential because of where you are in your sport, in your life, in your dream. So you went from, how old you said 13, 14, starting golf, to 30 now. We'll just say, like, if it was 15 years, maybe a little more, to become a top athlete. Like, what are you ranked in the world?
237. It was on that screen.
Oh, was it on the screen? Okay.
Yeah.
So 237. So that's insane. That's really insane. So if you were to give like 3 gold bars of information, not golf, life. I know I'm putting you on the spot here. But if you could say, like, these are 3 things that I think, you want a better life or a better lifestyle, do these 3.
Number 1, you got to set goals that you want to achieve. If you can't just say, I want to be better, you got to be specific. And I've set many specific goals throughout the year, every single year that I started golfing, and even when I was just playing sports when I was younger, of something I wanted to achieve. Whether it was like 6 years old in hockey, I wanted to be the top scorer for the league, or something like now, I want to make the 2020 Olympics. You got to set those big goals and then say, what do I got to do in between to achieve them? And So the number one thing has got to be goals. You got to have goals that you're going to push for. And number two, you got to believe that you can achieve those goals, because without the belief in yourself to achieve those goals, you're not going to work hard enough. You're not going to do what's necessary to get to that ultimate finishing point. Yeah. So those are two things that I've done. I've set some big goals, and I believe that I can achieve them.
But are you putting these goals on paper? Like, you writing goals down?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you track them like through the year? Or look at them periodically?
Sometimes I'll review them just to remind myself of what my end goals are, just so I make sure that I'm doing what I need to achieve them. So that was two things: set goals, believe in yourself.
And the third
thing, you have to find a way to love what you do. Otherwise, you're not going to have any passion. You're not going to want to do anything. And for me, it was easier than most. I love sports, and I just found a sport that I fell in love with. And so I've always been able to love what I do because I'm playing a sport and practicing at a sport. That's just been my passion since I was a kid. But no matter what your field is, like, you have to love chiropractic to be able to be successful. And whether you like your career job or not, you have to either love that or find something when you leave your job at home to go after and love on the side. Because if you don't, you're not going to be living for anything, right? It's like, why is Morgan giving me an angry face? I hope that's not about what I'm talking about.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
So those are my three things for.
Well, maybe you know what, she wanted you to say chiropractic is the third thing.
Chiropractic is something that has become a part of my life to help me achieve my goals. So that's like one of those things that has become a part of my routine to achieve the ultimate goal.
Of course. Listen, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So this is so cool. So everybody, I'm going to put this on the screen one more time. Make sure you get over to Ben W_Silverman.
Instagram, Twitter.
On Instagram and Twitter. And on Facebook here, as you can see, is what we got here is, this is Ben Silverman Golf on Facebook. And you can also make sure, if you don't really know enough about him and you want to learn more.
And like the page, please. I need to get my likes up. 243 is not really great, or whatever.
45 here. Yeah. 45. We're going to get you up. We'll get you up. And, track him here, because you know what? You want to follow somebody that is living the ultimate. He's living his dream. 2, he's doing what he loves, which is really cool. And 3 is he gets to do it with his family, right? He travels with his son, Jack, my nephew, Jack, and his wife, my sister, right? So their life is immersed with each other. It's not, that he leaves for 2 weeks and gets to come home to see his family. So I think that's a big part of what can keep you successful is your family's close. I mean, I don't know how many people that have brother-in-laws, right? That you would feel comfortable kind of, oh God, I got to hang out with this guy. I mean, come on, right? But I mean, I think we get along real well.
Yeah.
So follow Ben, learn more about him, and track him as a human being, as an athlete, because you're going to see these cool scores and these things going on here, getting better and better and better and better. And then we're going to have him on again.
That sounds good. And that you reminded me of something with that whole brother-in-law thing. With those 3 things to be successful, I can add a side thing. Surround yourself with people that are going to push you to be a better person and inspire you to want to achieve more. If you're not surrounding yourself with people to push you in that successful lifestyle, then you're not going to do it. So that's
True.
A huge thing too.
I think that's awesome, man. I'm taking, I got to listen to this again, but I take some notes. Right? Take notes from a pro golfer here. One day we'll go to a driving range so you can laugh more. It'll be good laughter therapy for you if we go.
That sounds good. I'll hit lefty. I've been practicing lefty, and you're a lefty, so that'll be all right.
Exactly. All right, y'all. Ben Silverman, PGA Tour Golfer. We're out.
All right. See ya.
All right, everybody. That was Ben Silverman. Hope you love him. I hope you're going to start following him because he's an athlete that is fighting for natural health and not only to be the best in the PGA Tour. We should all embrace some of the lifestyle habits that Ben has, from the mental game to the physical game to spending quality time with family, even on this amazing journey called the PGA Tour. So what Ben and I have decided to do, it's more, he's going to be the one donating, but he's going to be donating an autographed hat with your name on it, a Titleist hat. For those of you that love golf or just want an awesome hat that's autographed by Ben Silverman, you're going to find a link in the show notes that'll say, what are we going to call it? That'll say PGA Hat Raffle. You'll click on it. You'll give your name, your email address. I'm also going to ask for your address in there because we will need a place to mail it. All right? And when you get that in, you'll have another email sent back to you, or another page will pop open with all the links of all the recommended things, with a little video in there asking what we need you to do so you can be part of the raffle. It's going to be simple things like giving 5-star review on iTunes. It's going to be liking Ben Silverman Golf. It's going to be liking Lifestyle Locker. So all of those things go into play. And then we have your details, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to mail out that hat probably close to Christmas time. So it'll be an extra gift in the mail for those of you that celebrate. If not, it'll be just after Hanukkah and other holidays as well. So look forward to getting one of you this awesome hat. So remember, it will be in the show notes, and we'll say PGA Hat Raffle. All right, y'all. This is Dr. Josh Handt for Lifestyle Locker Radio. Peace out.